Hello, good evening, and welcome to session 8 at Omantic 2020. My name is Emad Shublaq, and I'm talking to you from Sydney, Australia. And it's whether it's good morning, good evening, good afternoon, it depends where are you. But you are welcome to attend this session 8. Tonight, to introduce our guest speaker, we have 3 speakers. The first speaker is Andreas Hadjioannou. We have second speaker is Muhsin Ben Hassouna. And the third speaker is engineer Omar Alnuaimi. Mr. Hadjioannou will be talking about the 10 most important factors towards successful Cafm Cmms project implementation, and these are abbreviation of computerized system, and he will talk about that computerized maintenance management system and computer-aided facility management system. Quick bio for Mr. Speaker, Mr. Hadjioannou. He gets his bachelor degree from in computer science from engineering department from Toledo University. More than 30 years experience in management, multiple and intellectual international IT projects involving innovative solutions and adaptability to new standard. He has worked in the Middle East in several companies like PepsiCo, NCR. Currently, he is a director of virtual IT consultants in United Arab Emirates. You got like 15 minutes, Anders, okay? Go ahead.
Taking the time to be here with us. I would like to thank Dr. Emad for the introduction, and a main thank for inviting me to this, if you like, presentation. What I will be talking today is the most challenging aspects of implementing a computerized maintenance management system and a computer-aided facility management. Just a short definition, we are referring to systems which allows you to manage the full life cycle of asset management, including being able to manage corrective and preventive maintenance, material management, and contract management. Cafm is a CMMS, but with the extension to be able to integrate with AutoCAD, so I can see a floor and I can see what the problems is on a 2-dimensional diagram or AutoCAD diagram, or a beam model, a 3-dimensional model, or maybe through a GIS S3 map and see where my problems are. Today's technology is quite advanced. We have the integration we mentioned. There is business intelligence, there is mobility, there is integration with BMS systems and IoT sensors. But the problems, in order to be able to get all the benefits that we get from such a system, is what we're going to discuss today based on our experience. And what are those benefits? Well, you are able, first of all, to manage corrective and preventive maintenance, asset management. You are able to manage contracts, SLAs, efficiency, quality management, and any standard related to managing your facilities or assets, as it's the theme of the event as well. And very important, those should match standards like ISO 41001, facility management, and ISO 55000, which is the asset management standard. So the first thing you need to be aware is when procuring such a system. What you need to look in general is to buy something sophisticated, something that has a history, something that will ensure that is within your budget, will cover your requirements, and can be implemented in the time frame that you require. In order to succeed in procuring a CMMS Cafm system, based on our experience, there are 10 specific elements that you have to take into consideration. When procuring, it is important to focus on the benefits. So don't just go around and look what's available out there. Look in your business and check to see what is good for you, what are your requirements, what are your problems, what are you trying to solve right now, okay? And then look at things like what are the KPIs you require to manage your business? What is your strategy in terms of your FM business requirements? And then again, you have to look and estimate each of these requirements and to evaluate. Yes, it's nice to put a huge list of what we need to buy. It's like going to buy a car. You go there and they give you a price that includes 4 wheels and maybe an engine and a steering wheel. But then when you start putting extras on it, you end up double or 3 times the value. So this is what you have to be aware when procuring, first of all. Second, any IT system must be able to manage your process. IT systems have been designed by FM experts for FM experts, so it is very important that the journey you're going to take in terms of implementing this system will cover your standard operating procedures. And if you don't have these procedures, you first need to audit them with a consultant related to facility management and asset management. And then once you have your process in place, then only you can implement a system. Processes is like petrol for any IT system. So it better be there for you to run the system. Then is the way that you manage your organization. It's according to the standard, it's called taxonomy. And taxonomy is the framework whereby which all the coding of each individual asset, each individual task, each individual technician, material, buildings, and so on are defined within the system. IT systems require coding. And if you don't have that, you need to build it. So if you're not willing to do that, then you will have a failure into your system. The better you do that at the beginning, the better it will be at the end. So you have to ensure that your supplier, when you're going to procure the system, understands the good value of taxonomy and how it is set up. If you don't have resources, and if you don't have good resources, you will not end up using the system properly. It's like buying a very complicated excavator. If you don't know how to use the excavator, or if you don't have a good user, you will never be able to implement it correctly and dig the holes you want to make, whatever you want to make them. So you need a project manager, a person that is acceptable within your organization. You need people who have FM experience. You need a steering committee which consists of the different departments you're going to have within your organization. And all these should be your project team, making sure they are available to implement the project. Yes, during the implementation, you need more resources, but after that, any resources you put during the implementation, because of this, what we call on-the-job training, the better it will be. Yes, there is training at the end, but there is nothing to substitute the training on the job as a system is being implemented. And then again, every IT system is like a big elephant, okay? And how do you eat the elephant? You have to cut it into pieces, okay? So obviously, I'm not suggesting you eat an elephant, but I'm just giving an example. And again, what we find is that 20% of the issues that we have, are solved, within the system, okay, by using the basic functionality. So don't stick on the 80% which are not important. Go and find those 20% of the functionality which is mandatory for you to do the operation. Set this up, get that going, and when you get that going, then you worry about extra functionality. For example, if you don't get your incident logging procedure working, there is no reason to include cleaning, let's say, functionality, or including contract management or whatever. So you need to plan in phases, whereby which phase 1 are your highest priority functions, benefits of the system. And then as you go along, you move to the next one. There are hundreds of systems. I wouldn't say hundreds, there are tens of good systems out in the market. You need to find those ones that have a long track record. They are successful. They have been implemented in your area, in your country, and obviously where we are right now, the Middle East. But to be able to bring in new blood of information, new knowledge. It's a partnership when an implementation like that takes place. So the supplier must have a good knowledge of the business, the standards, and you have to have a system which is flexible enough to be parameterized to your requirement. It should include technologies like mobility. It should include technologies like dashboards to create the queries and KPIs you require. And it should have qualified personnel to provide during the implementation the support required, as well as long-term support and maintenance as we go along. Garbage in, garbage out. This is what we say in IT. So if your data are not in quality, and if you provide the supplier with bad quality data, then you will get bad quality results. You do not need to have 100% availability of all the data to start an IT system. Provided that you have good quality data, even 25% or 50% or whatever you have is good. So it's better to start the system with not as much data as you would like to have, but good quality data. And you have to make sure that the people that provide the data to the supplier have a good understanding of what this data is. And as
And yes, 5 minutes to live.
Sure. And as with any system, you need to have good management in place. So it is important for an IT project to succeed, to have management decisions made within a week. So anything that comes from the supplier, you need to make sure that you provide it back. So the team has to be there to make decisions and then move them forward. Planning, as with everything we do, it is a matter of how we approach it. It has to be a dynamic process. It has to have the expected task, the milestone, the dependency. It has to have all the resources involved. And as Benjamin Franklin said, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. And obviously, on-the-job training, as I mentioned before, is highly important, but also training at the end. If you don't have trained workers on the system, users, you will not get the full benefit of the system. So concluding this, if you have in place the appropriate plan, resources, processes, quality data, taxonomy, the structure of your information, the management support and training is what will make your project succeed. So these are the considerations you have to have in place. Factors outlined are not exhaustive. There could be more, but these are the most important you have to worry about. And it is important that when you implement the project, it has to be in partnership, because the customer understands the business, the IT company has to understand the business, and you have to put it all together in order to make it into one big success. And the project starts with a risk analysis, whereby which you sit as a team, define what could possibly go wrong, and define what we need to do at the beginning of the project to mitigate any other issues. So hopefully this will help you have a successful project. If you need more information, here are my details. Thank you very much. And I'm open for discussion or questions later.
Thank you very much, Andreas. And we will leave the questions at the end of the sessions. And now the second speaker is Dr. Muhsin Ben Hassounah. I believe that he is not attending with us, but it's going to be recorded presentations. And Dr. Hassounah is Associate Professor at Civil Engineering, University of Benghazi, Libya. And I have he's okay, or he's watching us somewhere in Libya. And his presentation is the role of the maintenance science in the proactive management of assets.
الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. الإخوة الزملاء، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. عنوان الورقة: دور علم الصيانة في الإدارة الاستباقية للأصول. على مدى تاريخنا الطويل الذي قضيناه في خدمة صناعة العمليات، شهدنا قيام العديد من الشركات التي تتمتع بوفرة في رأس المال بتحسين مستوى التصميم والعمليات من خلال اتباع الاستراتيجيات الرقمية بهدف تحقيق أقصى درجات الفائدة. شملت عملية التحسين والتحديث كل شيء تقريبا، بدءا من التصاميم الأولية وتصاميم الأصول وصولا إلى إدارة عمليات المواقع المستقلة والأنظمة العالمية متعددة المواقع. لكن الحقيقة هناك مجال واحد فقط لا زال بعيدا عن مرمى عمليات التحسين، ألا وهي صيانة الأصول. لقد أضحت الظروف العامة حاليا مواتية في هذا الخصوص، وذلك عبر تبني واعتماد أجهزة الاستشعار والتقنيات المتقدمة على نطاق واسع في مجال علم البيانات من أجل تطوير موضوع صيانة الأصول. بعون الله نستعرض في هذه الورقة مجموعة من النقاط الفعالة التي من شأنها تمكين المهندسين وخبراء الصيانة من العمل بشكل جيد واستباقي بأي أثر محتمل سينعكس على الأصول المستقلة أو الأنظمة الأكبر حجما. إدارة الأصول. أيها الإخوة، إن إدارة الأصول بمعناها العام تشير إلى أي نظام يقوم بمراقبة الممتلكات القيمة المملوكة لكيان أو مجموعة ويحافظ عليها، وهي عملية منهجية لتشغيل الأصول والمحافظة عليها وترقيتها وتصريفها بفاعلية لتحقيق أكبر عائد، وذلك بهدف توفير أفضل الخدمات الممكنة للمستخدمين، طبعا تناسب أصول البنية التحتية العامة. الخلفية التاريخية لإدارة الأصول. دائما ما كانت تعتمد الحضارات على أصولها التكنولوجية في دعم الوظائف الرئيسية مثل النقل والصحة العامة وقطاع الأعمال والتجارة. هناك الحقيقة ارتباط واضح بين هذا الإمداد وبين التطور التكنولوجي للأصول والأنماط الحديثة في حياتنا. يعني على سبيل المثال للحصر، أقام الرومان إمبراطورية عظيمة عندما بنوا الطرق وغيرها من الأصول، ولن يختلف الأمر كثيرا إذا ما نظرنا إلى قارة آسيا وأفريقيا وأوروبا. إدارة أصول البنية التحتية. إن إدارة أصول البنية التحتية هي الجمع بين الممارسات الإدارية والمالية والاقتصادية والهندسية وغيرها من الممارسات التي يمكن تطبيقها على الأصول المادية، بغية توفير المستوى المطلوب من الخدمة بطريقة أكثر فاعلية من حيث التكلفة، وتشمل إدارة الأصول إدارة دورة الحياة الكاملة، تصميم وبناء وتكليف وتشغيل وصيانة وإصلاح وتعديل واستبدال ووقف التشغيل والبيع كذلك للأصول المادية وأصول البنية التحتية. نظم إدارة وصيانة الأصول، حيث ينشأ أرشيف إلكتروني لكافة وثائق الأصول ويقوم باحتساب الإهلاك الشهري وترحيله إلى النظام المالي. من مهامه يتولى ما يلي: عملية الصيانة للأصول. 2. يتابع صرف الأصول على المشاريع وإرجاعها. 3. يتابع الأصول التي صرفت كعهد للموظفين. الحقيقة تمثل الإدارة الفعالة للأصول والموجودات الحكومية إحدى أهم الوسائل التي يتم عبرها المحافظة على المال العام وتقليل الهدر في النفقات الحكومية. ويحتوي النظام على وظائف شاملة لمتابعة حياة الأصل ابتداء من يوم شرائه ثم مكان حفظه وكيفية استخدامه، كذلك متابعة عمليات الصيانة الدورية التي تتم للأصل ومقدار الإنفاق الذي يكلفه تشغيله، وانتهاء بخروجه من الخدمة أو بيعه. الإهلاكات الشهرية. يوفر الحقيقة هذا النظام تقارير وافرة عن كل ما يتعلق بالأصول من إهلاكات شهرية ومواقع الأصول وعهدها وصيانتها، القيمة الدفترية لها إلى آخره. وينتج عن ذلك: 1. سهولة إعداد النظام لإدخال فئات وبيانات الأصول. 2. تحديد طريقة ونسبة الإهلاك لكل أصل. 3. الربط المباشر مع النظام المالي وتحديد الحسابات لكل أصل. 4. معرفة الإهلاكات على الأصل وتوضيح قيمة الأصل والإهلاك المتراكم والقيمة الدفترية. 5. معرفة نوع التصرف بالأصل من تالف ومباع إلى آخره. 6. إعطاء رقم لكل أصل والاحتفاظ بصورة له. 7. معرفة مكان الأصل، إدارة، قسم، والمؤتمن عليه. 8. إمكانية تسجيل كافة بيانات ووثائق الأصل مع الصورة. 9. تسجيل بيانات مواصفات الأصل والضمان عليه. 10. تحديد فترة الإهلاك، هل هي سنوية، نصف سنوية، كل 3 أشهر، كل شهرين، أو شهري. 11. تقارير شاملة ومتنوعة على مستوى الإهلاك والأصول. 12. تسجيل طلبات الصيانة وجدولتها ومتابعتها عبر تقارير الصيانة. إدارة الممتلكات. أيها الأخوة، تتيح هذه الخدمة ما يلي: رقم 1، إدارة قاعدة بيانات الممتلكات. 2. إدارة وتنظيم عقود الإيجار. 3. إدارة تخصيص المساحات. 4. إدارة وصيانة سكن الموظفين. 5. إنشاء الفواتير وجداول الدفع المتصلة بعقود الإيجار. 6. التكامل مع أنظمة توحيد الموارد الحكومية مثل نظام المدفوعات. 7. والمقبوضات. طبعا الحقيقة يمكن لهذا أن يتم من خلال إجراء 5 عمليات: قاعدة البيانات والممتلكات الرئيسية، إدارة العقود، تسكين الموظفين، فواتير المدفوعات، والمقبوضات. إنشاء استراتيجية للأصول. بمجرد أن تكون هناك المعرفة اللازمة فيما يتعلق بالأصول، سيسمح ذلك إنشاء خطة للأصول تتضمن المراحل الستة: العمليات والاستحواذ، الصيانة، البيع، تقييم المخاطر وإدارتها. طبعا إدارة المخاطر في الخطة الاستراتيجية تشمل الخسائر أثناء فترات التعطل، وعلاقة العملاء والصحافة السلبية وعوامل أخرى يمكن أن تلحق الضرر بقيمة والتدابير الواجب اتخاذها في حالة حدوثها. يمكن أن نلخصها في الآتي: هذه التدابير هي: 1. يجب أن يؤخذ بعين الاعتبار تقييم كل المخاطر لجميع أصول المؤسسة، سواء كانت مادية أو مالية أو بشرية أو حتى معلومات، والتي ستتحمل مستوى مختلفا من المخاطر المرتبطة بها. 2. يجب توفير التمويل لاستبدال الأصول الأساسية في حالة الطوارئ. 3. في تقييم المخاطر يمكن تضمين خطة لاقتناء الأصول الرئيسية بسرعة في حالة حدوث لا قدر الله خسارة محتملة. يعني نعطي مثال على ذلك: قد يكون هناك خطر منخفض في توقف مولد المؤسسة مثلا عن العمل طالما تم صيانته بشكل صحيح، ومع ذلك إذا لم يتم إجراء الصيانة المناسبة فإن وجود خطة ستساعد في تقليل الخسائر. استخدام ايزو أو المعيار ايزو هو طبعا مستند قياسي فعلا لإنشاء خطة لإدارة الأصول تكون استراتيجية تشمل ما يلي. أولا، سيرشد المعيار لطوال العملية لإنشاء الخطة الاستراتيجية لإدارة الأصول. اثنين، سيتيح للمؤسسة المالكة للأصول الامتثال لجميع القوانين والمتطلبات التنظيمية للمؤسسة. ثلاثة، يفي المعيار بجميع المعايير الدولية بما في ذلك المعهد الوطني الأمريكي SAVE-Int للمعايير الدولية. أربعة، هذه القاعدة ضرورية بشكل مهم للعمل مع العملاء وشركات التأمين والمستثمرين. طبعا الحقيقة يقسم المعيار العملية إلى مراحل ومفاهيم معينة، استخدامها سيساعد على إتمام العملية. والحقيقة النموذج التالي يلخص تقريب من تنسيقية خطة. 1، الأهداف والمقدمة. 2، المعلومات المتعلقة بالشركة. 3، تفاصيل عملية التخطيط. 4، قسم تنفيذ خطة إدارة الأصول. 5، أهداف برنامج إدارة الأصول الخاص. 6، الخطط الاستراتيجية التي تشمل الأهداف والمواعيد النهائية والأولويات. الحقيقة أخيرا، يجب أن تفصل الخطة. هل الاستراتيجية لإدارة الأصول والمخاطر تنتهي بنتيجة؟ الحقيقة في يعني أمكن من خلال هذه الورقة الوصول إلى عدد من التوصيات هي على النحو التالي. يجب الاهتمام بعلم الصيانة بالتأكيد، وذلك عبر تبني واعتماد أجهزة الاستشعار والتقنيات المتقدمة على نطاق واسع في مجال علم البيانات وتعلم الآلات من أجل تطوير موضوع صيانة الأصول الذي يمتلك حاليا القدرة على تحويل هذا الجزء المهمل من الأعمال إلى قيمة حقيقية ومستدامة. 2، سيكون من المهم القدرة على تحديد نقاط ضعف الأصول ضمن الزمن الحقيقي بدقة وبشكل استباقي، ويصبح بالإمكان نمذجة حالات الفشل السابقة التي أصابت جميع الأصول والأنظمة عندما يتم تلقيم للخوارزميات بعلم الصيانة، الأمر الذي سيعزز من وجود البيانات التشغيلية سواء كانت قديمة أو ضمن الزمن الحقيقي. 3، يجب تقديم الخطط وفقا لأولوية الأصل. 4، تقسيم التخطيط إلى خطط أصغر لإدارات سيساعد على وضع الخطط بشكل أكثر فاعلية. 5، ستحتاج المؤسسات والشركات الكبيرة إلى خطط إدارة الأصول الاستراتيجية الأوسع نطاقا. 6، يتطلب تنفيذ الخطط الاستراتيجية وجود نظام فعال للرقابة يقوم بمقارنة الأداء الفعلي بالنتائج المرغوبة واتخاذ الإجراءات المناسبة لتحقيق رسالة المنظمة. 7، استخدام الوسائل العلمية في التحليل وصولا إلى اختيار وصياغة الاستراتيجية. 8، الهدف الرئيسي من التحليل الاستراتيجي هو معرفة 4 مفاهيم أساسية: نقاط القوة والضعف الداخلي، الفرص والتهديدات الخارجية. وهذا التحليل يبني على دراسة المؤسسة من جوهرها والمحيط الذي هو حولها. أخيرا، أصبح معيار الآيزو النموذج القياسي الذي يجب اتباعه لتطوير خطة إدارة الأصول الاستراتيجية، لذلك فهو عنصر حاسم.
You finished? Okay, now we will thank you, Dr. Ben Hassouna, although he's not with us, but he's been recording his presentation.
Check my message.
Now we will move to the third speaker, Mr. Engineer Omar Alnuaimi, and he is a researcher at Sharjah Academy at United Arab Emirates, and his presentation entitles Application for Unmanned Aerial Vehicles in Construction Industry, an overview. So the microphone is yours, Omar. Go ahead.
Thank you. First, I would like to thank Mantic for this opportunity and all the participants, and thank you, Dr. Emad. Today, we will have an overview for application for unmanned aerial vehicle in the construction. Mainly, our outline is some introduction, and then we'll have a brief in the history for drone, and then we'll move to UAV in construction and some application of photogrammetry, and then the challenges that they might face, and at the end, conclusion. Recently, many new technology have appeared to enhance productivity, reduce the cost, reduce the cost of the time building inspection and the construction activity. UAV, as known as drone, have been interfering in construction industry and recently in the building inspection, among a varied range of other sectors like oil, gas sectors. In the last decades, many researchers have conducted that the UAV application in different areas of the construction industry. Mainly, drones start in earliest in 1782, where the Montclair brother in France used the unmanned balloon, and then at the end, after that, in 1848, the history amongst the bomb when they against Venice, and in 1862, a patent of flying machine that can hold bombs were already in Massachusetts. In 1898, American armed forces uses the camera for their military uses. In 1911, the Italian used drone when they attack Libya. After that, in the earliest of 1930s, the U.S. Navy began to experiment a radio-controlled aircraft, resulting in certain of drones. And after that, the Lightning Bugs and Ryan Fiber just rolled drones using a remote compact aircraft, as shown below. After that, in 1980s, the U.S. created what called as Pioneer drones, which helps them in their military purposes. In the 1990s, technology have been improved, and drone has been for the more sufficient, military purpose. In 2000 and above, drones were used in many sectors, such as construction. And that leads us to have a quick look about the drones and its component. The unmanned aerial vehicle, as shown below, which is either operated by a human remotely or can fly autonomously through software control pipelines. The architect of a commercial drone mainly consists of the controller, data processing, monitoring, and leading a landing system. The interior system runs variety range function, ranging from navigation to data transfer to the ground. Before designing a drone, commercial and civilian application, it is important to figure the specific and the specification that must satisfy the certain needs for the owners. The drone technology is used in a different reason in the construction industry as a tool to improve communication, safety, marketing. The use of drone in construction can offer many advantages, as well as capturing real-time image from the field. With the real-time data recording and unique aerial advantage, a drone can improve efficiency, cut costs, and streamline workflow. Here's some of the ways that drone used in the construction. First, topographic mapping and land survey, and second, equipment tracking and automating. Third, remote monitoring and process report. and the fourth is security surveillance, and the fifth is personal safety, and at last, structure inspection and photography. The application of photogrammetry in the UAVs, the application is in civil engineering is almost unlimited. It can be used as a standalone system or jointly with the other non-contacting imaging data methods such as radar, holography, and remote sensing. It could be used architect photogrammetry information systems such as a building information modeling (BIM), deformation and measurement cracks and cracks opening during laboratory test and structure limits, cracks measurement and monitoring, obtaining the deleted geometrics of a computer structural model, and also photogrammetry is employed for historic bridge documentation and route inspection, and that leads us to the application of pharmatography. First of all is aerial photogrammetry, and then the survey, and also it can be used in inspection, as I mentioned earlier. And the fourth is it can be used also in safety monitoring and damage assessment. First application is aerial photogrammetry. Photogrammetry mainly is the science of measuring in photo and belongs to the field remote sensing. With photogrammetry, it's possible to determine the size, the shape, and the location of the objectives by measuring its image. This without need to physical contact to the object. Aerial photogrammetry consists of using imaginary gathering in the air by UAV to create a computer-generated 2D or 3D models. These models are topographical in nature, meaning that they represent the dimension and the physical feature of the area of the land and the stunning accuracy. These models can be rotated, can be zoomed, because they are created entirely from image of the real location as captured by the UAV. They will show every last photographic details in the exist in that photos. The drones were used in aerial photogrammetry. They are less expensive. It can cost 5 times as much to achieve the same shot as a full scale. It can be also more convenient by purchasing one or hiring a professional to help capturing photo. And the third one is environmentally friendly. A drone releases 0 carbon exhaust comparing with traditional manned aircraft. And it is easy and fast setup. The average setup drones, it's almost like 10 minutes only. Less intrusive, including multiple database. You can use it in many functions. And it's very safe and reliable. A drone can operate with high temperature and freezing climate, built-in GPS, and it can be found easily by a single when its signal lost. The second is surveying. UVs provide economical platform for obtaining survey data equipped with a proper sensor and a camera technology. Surveying service provided use GPS-enabled UAVs that automatically flow the GPS-controlled and calculated path in advance. UAV can survey the whole building maybe within less than 1 hour, and it can survey all important points in that building. The third application is inspection. It has been validated by many industries that using UAVs can quicken the inspection process and enhance the safety by reducing worker exposure to harsh conditions in extreme climate. In terms of commercial construction, a CEO of UAV service company described a scenario in which a 15-story building has a water leak. One of the higher floor, a window frame is suspected to be a source of the leak. The building bordered by a busy highway, making access even more difficult. A UAV is the solution. The UAV is able to capture a numerous photo from a various angle and zoom the setting in matter of a couple minutes. The entire operation is conducted without road closure. at a greatly lower cost than alternative inspection techniques and avoid very little safety risk. The fourth point is safety and security monitoring. Using UAV is always a safety that allows safety manager to communicate with employees and anywhere within the construction site. Image and video captured by the UAV give the safety manager variable documents of a job site condition in a case where accident could occur, and UAV provide him with a tool cover of a large area for construction site and shorter time. Security of construction site can also enhance using UAV. The UAV is displayed. Sorry. The UAV will also have ability to program for periodic security sweep and will return in its roof automatically. Challenges: it can be done if you are using a drone through a drone application. Despite many benefits of the drone, that some serious challenges that need to be highlighted. The annual consequences of drone will be discussed as, first of all, safety. Yes, using drone is safely, but in a highly dense cities of various civilization application raise the safety issue, and a huge damage can be caused by crashing the drones. So if we are using a drone, it will be very difficult and will be unsafely, because some accident could be happened. Severe weather conditions such as turbulence, lighting, and battery life lift capacity has also triggered concern about falling drones in a public property. Furthermore, due to sharing of airspace with commercial planes in larger cities, there are also serious risks of airborne collision. Security. The biggest security concern is not about a civilian drone itself, but it's in technology inside. The technology, it can be hacked and destroyed by hackers, causing a disruption for the service provided. The drone navigation with the communication models.
We have like 3 minutes to wind up.
Okay, the last challenges is privacy. Privacy is what is matter nowadays because it's data. So privacy is a major concern during that drone has sensors and.
It's too small for Mr. Omar.
Sorry?
Can you put the
yes.
presentation at full screen? It's too small.
It's already done.
Okay, you finished?
Yes.
Almost finished.
It's yeah, just the conclusion that.
Okay, take your time. You still got 1-2 minutes. Okay.
Okay. Just I want to conclude my presentation. The UAV regulation under development in many countries around the world, and it's really needs that we should go more deep in this application. It is invest the drone that only used in monitoring activities, where it could do more by maybe small maintenance activities using a snap-on gauge rather than drones such as ceiling cracks. Maybe it could do some maintenance. Thank you.
Thank you, Omar Alnuaimi and Ben Hassona. Unfortunately, we've got no time for Q&A because I was just told now by the organizers that they're going to move to the final meeting session. So my apology for all of them, but keep later on if somebody wants to go for special questions, you might personalize that and send it to you. Thank you so much for speaker.
Thank you.
And see you soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.